Remember, this entire manga and every manga on this channel is hand-drawn by myself, and now you too can learn exactly how to make your own viral Dragon Ball mangas at www.makemanga.com, where you can learn directly from me. My mangas have got me on TV, on newspapers, and even earned me over $60,000 a month on Patreon alone. And now, you can click the link in the description and pinned comment of this video and do it yourself. You only need to see the website to see just how many thousands of you are taking this opportunity right now. And don't forget also, the next video to this Ultra Vegito series has already been made and is live now on my Patreon right now for over 4,500 of you incredible fans to watch after this. Again, links are in the pinned comment and description. Enjoy.
It's over! So our story continues with the aftermath and final act of Goku's battle with his own son, taken over by the demon Sparda, who after a final smite infused Kamehameha Wave, completely not only overpowered the demonic Saiyan, but utterly vanquished the creature that had taken hold of him in the process also. As luckily, much to the exhausted Goku's relief, Gohan, though severely damaged, would still be alive, just barely. And of course, with 2 front row seats, 2 other Saiyans would have watched the final victory of Son Goku. The first being a smirking proud Vegeta, who would comment, "That imbecile actually pulled through for once. For a minute, I thought he'd be too soft, but he managed to stop Gohan and keep him alive. Typical Kakarot." As the future Trunks would also smile and say, "Goku, you really are just as impressive as the legend's mother and father told me. I wish I could have met you back then. Maybe things would have gone better for my timeline." But as the two would blush, elsewhere, Goku had already descended down to the ground, right beside the fallen Gohan. And almost like his entourage, Vegeta and Trunks would then join him, all surrounding the young Saiyan. "Goku!" At which point God-Killer Trunks would address the Archangel saying, "I've still got some Senzu beans. Need one? I don't think Gohan's gonna last much longer." But Goku would just lift up his arm, halting Trunks saying, "No need. We might need those for later. I've got this. At least I think." As the Archangel would then reach out down towards his son, his hand, whispering, "Gohan, hold on." And with that, a truly divine energy would once again be let out from Goku and envelop Gohan. The same energy that inexplicably brought back both Goten and Bardock back to life, now being used to heal all the damage from Sparda's extraction from his being. "Huh? Dad!" And faster than any healing Dende could produce, the powerful Gohan would already begin regaining consciousness, opening his eyes muttering, "What happened? Was I training with you?" To which Goku, chuckling back, would respond, "Yeah, something like that, Gohan. I know you're a whole lot stronger than before, that's for sure. But everything is okay now. You should feel like yourself again." Leaving Goku to now turn his palm into an outreached hand as he would continue, "Come, son, grab on. We need to get you out of here." As Gohan, heeding his father's words, would then begin getting up onto his knees. Looking up at his father, two smiles on the family members as he too would reach out his hand saying, "I've missed you, Dad. Krillin, I let him down, but we need to bring him back, whatever it takes." As Goku would reply, "We will, son. Just leave it to us." And with that, their hands would come in closer and closer with each other, about to grasp onto one another until... Wait! Goku! Until it would be the God Killer from the future, with his shining green seraphim eyes wide open that would detect something all too not right with the atmosphere. A certain sense of bloodlust, and it was coming from the unexpected. I'll leave it to you to join him, Dad! Gohan! As suddenly leaping full of vigor, Gohan, or should we say Sparda, would be back with his black and red seraphim eyes, using Goku's hand to fling himself up and forward into the air, with his fist behind clenched, ready to attack a none the wiser Goku, who would just stand pulling his hand away in pure disbelief his divine smite had not worked, as he would mutter, It can't be! You can't be here! Fool! Your angel trickery may be strong, but you forgot. You didn't have just one demon to get rid of, but Dante and Virgil as well. Goodbye to my sons, but I will live on! As Sparda, coming down with his fist, would explain that though the divine smite had worked, he had traded the lives of his own sons as shields to save himself. But just as this would be going on, from behind, a certain dark red arm would come shooting out, elongated and stretched, running for miles, careering down the battlefield like a hungered snake, and all for one target. What? As unbelievably, the dark arm would seemingly be on the Z-Fighter's side, stopping Sparda's sneak attack instantly as it would grab him directly from behind, right around his feeble neck. And just like that, like an unruly mutt on a leash, Sparda would be pulled back from the rest of the Saiyans instantly, brought miles backwards in the blink of an eye. Until ultimately landing back on the retracted arm of none other than Lucifer, looking down at the paralyzed Saiyan saying,
There, Sparda. I think you've proven your inadequacy more than enough. Quit while you're behind.
Lucifer! What are you doing? Stop this! As the trembling Sparda, simply unable to do a thing in the former devil's presence, would just mutter out for his escape. But Lucifer, bending down, bringing himself closer as if to tell a secret, would mutter out to the terrified demon,
What am I doing? What are you doing, you silly worm? All that time locked away, begging to be brought back. And the minute you actually are given a fine new vessel, handpicked by me, you still lose. Time has not been kind to you, old friend. You truly are pathetic, Sparda.
How dare you talk to me like that? If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have had a clue about the demon realm. You'd still be stuck in Sector 10, had I not shown you how to progress.
So, you remember those times, do you, Sparta? Well, consider my debt repaid, as without Dante or Virgil now, you were about to be slaughtered. I'll at least give you a death that you deserve by one of your own.
Lucifer, no! Just wait! As following their little nostalgia trip, done with the conversation, the oversized Lucifer would pick up the miniature in comparison Gohan by the neck, tightening his grip ever so slightly, as Sparta's words would become more and more muffled, with Lucifer just letting out,
Time to snap your neck, chicken, and see you in another million years.
No! 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 Let go of Gohan! As instantly as the fear of Sparta would ring out, his life expectancy dwindling by the second, Goku, Vegeta and Trunks would be left stunned. Frozen, as now the Z-Fighter they had tried so hard to keep alive was now about to have his life snuffed right before them.
Goodbye and good riddance.
And just like that, a creature of its word, with a sudden clamp and with ease, Son Gohan's neck would be snapped, and with it, both him and Sparta would be lost from this world. His eyes instantly going blank, and no more of a sound would then be heard from the Saiyan, now joining his friend Krillin. Gohan! Kid! Gohan! And with that image of his lifeless face, despite his soul having already left, Goku, Vegeta and Trunks would react in disbelief. The Archangel's hand reached out again, just like it had been when it was healing Gohan only moments ago, now outreached in futile efforts of undoing what had already been done. And in response, instantly in a rage, now with only one foe left on the battlefield and no need to conserve their energies, Vegeta and Godkiller Trunks would instantly transform into their strongest forms, with Vegeta re-entering his partial devil transformation with black wings and all, and Trunks entering his ultra state, stacked with his green Seraphim. Black thunder and lightning raging around both of the Dark Saiyans. Let go of him! Trunks, cover me! And with that, and no need to watch anymore, the two powerful Saiyans would shoot forward in a red and purple aura respectively, chasing after the one known as Lucifer in the background. But as Vegeta and Trunks would be taking action, the story would be different for Goku, as in complete silence, he would remain motionless, his head ducked. The witnessing of his first son's death had taken its toll on the Archangel Father, as he would mutter, "No matter what I do, he'll just keep taking everything I love away from me. This won't end until he's gone, will it?" But meanwhile, like a disposable bin bag, Gohan's lifeless body would then finally be dropped onto the ground, slamming with a thud with at least the comfort that the young Saiyan could feel no more. All while, and ascending into the air, Lucifer would watch on as the God Killers would inch closer and closer. His arms folded and a truly unaffected grin on his countenance as he would say,
Who would have thought? Finally, the day had come. The forbidden merger of realms, and the mortal realm's last defenses and bastions of hope coming to challenge me. Time really does fly when you're having fun. And it looks like more fun is on its way.
As on the very next page, the final battle between Lucifer and his God-killer vessels turning on him would finally begin, with Trunks and Vegeta arriving in tandem in a synchronized attack, their faces full of intent, both knowing exactly what they must do, while Lucifer, with more joy than we'd seen on him since he was within Vegito, would have the largest of grins. But as the two warriors would launch assaults with both hands and feet, throwing flurries Lucifer's way, despite his large stature, the Omni King's speed would simply be tremendous, and his foresight on a level way above, seeing every attack miles before, dodging and blocking both at the same time without care, leaving after images behind, as even mid-combat, he would have time to goad.
It's been some time indeed since I last had to fight. I appreciate this warm-up, you two, but do you mind picking things up a bit?
Father! Behind! As frolicking away, moving through the two, through the middle, like they weren't even there, Lucifer would make the two God Killers look like all their skills and powers gained through decades of hardship were nothing before him. Get back here! But not letting up that easily, the father-son Royal Saiyan duo would then flip around and place their arms out, powering up their respective energy beams instantly. Immediately within nanoseconds, blasting out a combined Black Thunder electrified blast that would reach Lucifer in a flash. Even getting the Omni King's attention as he would turn around, but hardly with any sign of fear. The resultant aftermath being a gigantic mid-air explosion, so big even Bardock and Goten, far off from danger, would be able to inspect its sheer mass and volume. Are you sure we shouldn't help? Leaving the naive child Saiyan to still wonder about what he should do, as Bardock, with wide eyes, would respond, Kid, are you seeing what I'm seeing? We'd be slaughtered before we even knew what hit us. These lot are on a completely different level. Just sit this out. But with tears now forming, Goten would finally break himself, whimpering out, But Gohan, you told me to leave it to Dad, and Gohan's gone now. If we had only done something, maybe he'd still be here. But Bardock would immediately shut things down, saying, We wouldn't have made a difference, kid. We'd just end up dead, too. We already were only hours ago. And don't forget, who brought us back? Your dad. The battle isn't over yet, Goten. Gohan can be brought back, but they need to beat this guy first. To which Goten, with the tears now overflowing, would whisper, "Dad, we'll bring Gohan back?" As with his tears now about to drip off, talking directly to his father, his final word would be, "Dad, please win. Please." And with that, a single innocent precious tear would fall down, reaching closer to the floor before splattering on the ground. Now I've decided. Now I don't have anything left to hold back. As almost as if in response and instinct to his son's tears, Goku would finally lock in, his face more serious than ever before and his gaze firmly planted on Lucifer in the distance. A strange aura about the Archangel, as now, with no more distractions in place, Son Goku would be ready to right the mistakes of the final battle in Season 1. His armor now beginning to inexplicably glisten more and more, as with his expression getting angrier, Goku would internalize, "Lucifer, you're the reason for everything going wrong. You poisoned Vegito's mind. You planned it all. You took away my friends, my family, and even now, you plan on taking everything not just from me, but every single living thing. I've always had to save everyone, but this time, it's never been more important. Even if I have to disappear forever, I'm taking you with me." And with that monologue said, with an explosion of speed, on such a level, Goku himself would turn into a white concoction of energy. This soaring divine light would speed through the battlefield and right towards the ongoing battle up in the sky.
Is this your idea of picking things up? Shame on you, Vegeta. And shame on whoever this stranger is also. Just accept you've lost and watch the fireworks happen, boys.
But back with Lucifer, oblivious, he would continue to enjoy the mere spar that was Vegeta and Trunks' efforts to kill him, blocking and seeing everything the two Saiyans did, commenting all the way through to dampen their spirits more and more. But even he would finally detect what would be approaching from behind. A shining star of energy, its presence alone would send shivers down the Omni King's spine. And to Lucifer's and everybody's surprise, the divine light would actually strike him, pushing past his body as if he were not even there.
Kakarot!
Shocking the two god killers as well, as interestingly, the light would not stop at Lucifer, but speed into the distance after just one strike.
That energy! Die!
As Lucifer reacting would immediately confuse the nature of its divinity with his own brothers. Only for the energy to come back around and strike him once more. And again, pinpointing him exactly and hitting him around like a piñata.
Enough! Come here!
But not allowing the fast to continue for any longer, with anger, Lucifer would then pull his fist back, completely disregarding Vegeta and Trunks and wait for the careering back again divine energy. Finally raising his voice, as for once he would display some effort, spearheading his fist forward with the white beam that would now be right at his face. Eventually making contact, but on collision, instantly the light would expand and illuminate everything in sight. Goku! Stunning all three warriors, as each would be caught in the blinding light, turning the screen and their vision completely blank. And as the light would fade, standing ominously with his arms folded, Archangel Goku would appear, and not just anywhere, but standing directly on top of Lucif's fist, making a mockery of the so-called Omni King. Looking down, Goku would let out, "I hope you enjoyed your show. You're a lot like Zeno in that way. But where I didn't know if I could ever lay a hand on Zen-chan, for you're going to pay for everything, demon." As Goku would then continue, "In some ways, we're responsible for you being here, but you're also responsible for just how strong we've become. After you're taken care of, there will never be a threat larger, and this universe and my home will be safe forever. You lose, Lucif, not us."
What an interesting point of view, Son Goku.
Leaving a grinning Lucif to respond,
"So in that way, you should be thanking me. How about you get down from my arm and show me how you plan on taking care of me? I can assure you, that will be thanks enough."
And with that said, Goku would then elegantly flip back, living up to his Archangel name, before returning right in front of Vegeta and Trunks, who stand on either side. "Nice entrance, clown! But flashy moves or not, our attacks just aren't doing anything to him. This is different than with Dai and Zeno's guards. We just might be out of our depth here." With Vegeta breaking down the reality of the situation, as Trunks would add on, "He's right, Goku. It's like with the Lucif of my timeline. Nothing works, and he can see everything coming. I don't suppose you have a plan?" To which Goku would then respond confidently, "Relax, you two. He's not as invincible as you think. The reason he can see everything is because of those eyes all over his body. They're all working together. The reason I could hit him is because I turned my body into pure light energy. You two can't do the same, but there's only so many he can keep track of. 3 at once and we'll take him down. I'm sure of it." "Whatever you say, Kakarot. Just don't get in my way. Let's put an end to this, Goku." And with that, all three Saiyans would immediately get into fighting stances. The God Killer Trunks, who has so longed to see Lucif's end, finally extending his Godslayer blade. As with one last word, Vegeta would yell full of adrenaline, "This is it! No Vegito, just us! We fight for what's ours! This may be the final battle! Prepare yourselves!"
Raditz, you came.
But just as things would be getting started over there, in an entirely new multiverse, meaning a set of universes with a completely different story and different versions of characters we may or may not know, Kratos would be seen asking his son,
What is this good news then, boy? I can probably guess.
and stepping forward slowly, nonchalantly stepping all over the still kneeling god of destruction Kujo, Raditz would then declare, I found another one. These things are getting more and more scarce after we've collected hundreds of them. But anything is better than nothing. As he would be seen reaching into his furry clothing. Here, another wishing orb, found on planet Blarg, and this one wasn't even being protected. As revealed, in the single green seraphim-eyed Saiyan's hand would be none other than a Dragon Ball, but not like any we had seen before, as in this unique multiverse, the Dragon Ball would appear completely black and with a lone white star in the middle. And mysteriously, unlike in our multiverse where there would be 7 to find, over here it seems there are infinitely more, but for what purpose is still unknown.
Of course, another orb to extend our strength. Here, boy, hand it over.
As with a clearly pleased look, the normally stoic Kratos would extend his hand to grab onto the mysterious Dragon Ball. But before Raditz could even think to pass the wishing orb to his father, both would freeze, sensing a stranger arriving within their midst. As Kratos, immediately looking behind with his side eye, would call out dominantly,
Who goes there uninvited? Show yourself now.
And as Kratos would begin to turn around, on his command behind, out of a mysterious rectangular black portal, a foot would emerge. Well, hello to you too, your majesty. As out of nowhere, the figure entering this mortal realm would actually be the elder god Poseidon, his face emotionless and his arms folded. On immediate entrance, his aura would be felt throughout the kingdom. Who is that? An intruder? And immediately, the choir of gods surrounding Kratos would erupt into outrage and shock. But rather calmly, Raditz would just question, Father, do you know this man or not? I'll cut him down on your word. But back down on the floor, the kneeling god of destruction Kujo would already know who this was, just muttering out, That is an elder god!
Elder God!
And immediately, the mentioning of this would finally burst open the king's eyes, a certain word triggering within him everything he needed to know.
Seems my job is never done.
And with that, instantly Kratos, using a mysterious energy, would immediately summon within his hands his legendary Blades of Chaos, his body hunched and poised for battle on instinct. It had looked as if Kratos had been awaiting the day to return to battle for some time. As with his voice raised, lifting his blades up, Kratos would call out, "Raditz, take the men and the destroyer, and leave now. I will handle this alone." As Poseidon, now smirking and removing his arms from his previous folded position, would respond, "So, the God Killer does live up to his name after all. Very well. I suppose my preposition can be left for after I test this famed strength of yours, Kratos, son of Zeus." The battle between God Killer and Elder God had finally come much sooner than expected, but from a warrior nobody had guessed. Just how powerful will this multiverse's version of Kratos really be? Find out on the next exciting episode of UV.
But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag Happy Holidays in the comments down below and let me know just how this insane story progresses into the new year. Or just find out what happens right now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked and edited for you to enjoy, with over 4,500 plus other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.